Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria. You guys, welcome back to part 2 of the Pat McGrath Opulence collection. Today we have the little Aquamarine set here, 2 lipsticks, which of course we will get in at the end of the video. We'll talk about them, swatch them, all of that good stuff, and the little 6-pan palette right here. And real talk, y'all, I'm actually nervous about today's video. I never ever play around with, okay, let me start off. I lately have not been doing very many dark looks in general, just because I've been really wanting to like lighten up my face and create like a much more bright appearance on my eyelids. I don't know, it's just been like this thing I was going through. And so to look at these, I was really intimidated. I still am. I obviously haven't done a look with it yet, and I'm like, I'm nervous. So, and it has a gray. When does Paige use gray? She doesn't hardly ever use gray. So I'm extra freaking nervous. Now, here's what I can tell you. I have obviously swatched these. I have went through and played, and I have tons of other, not tons, but I have other Pat McGrath palettes. I have, I think, 3 or 4 of the big ones, the motherships, and then I have these 3 from this collection, plus 2 or 3 from the previous mini collection. So I definitely have played around with all the Pat McGraths that I have, and like, you know, multiple items and highlights and this and that. And the one thing that really reigns supreme with these, the reason that I'm not nervous about a first impression, or as far as like my opinion on the product, is mainly because the consistency is so key that I know as long as I'm careful and I go into this with like an open mind, and I go in and I'm very like cautious, but not so cautious that I trip myself up, I think it'll be fine. So I'm like, you'll catch me in this video trying to like talk myself down because I'm actually nervous. Like, I know it sounds stupid to say, but I really am. So you guys just like bear with me today. I haven't done anything like this in a minute, and I do kind of have an eye look in mind that'll play around with all the different options in here. So anyways, all that aside, you guys, we're gonna dive in to the palette. That's the first thing we're gonna look at. It is super, super cute. I love the packaging. I love everything about it. The presentation is kind of adorable. Now, if we're looking at the shades, in the top row, we have Entice, Deep Space, and Enraptured. And then on the second row, we have Dark Matter, Metropolis, and Interstellar. Now, these 6 shades are so freaking stunning. They swatch like a dream. The last shade in there, the Interstellar shade, I actually did a little clip for you guys of it being swatched, and I showed you guys what that shade looks like alone. And then I went ahead and I also put that over the Dark Matter shade, which is the deep matte black in this palette. And I did that just to show you guys this shade is different than the other shimmers in these palettes. It's more of like a topper shade, something that you can throw on, and just in case I didn't end up doing it in a look for you guys, I wanted you to still see that effect. It's very much so a color you can build up with like a glitter glue, use it on its own and get like a beautiful shimmer glimmer effect, or you can use it to brighten up like a really dark, sultry, sexy, smoky eye, put it over that dark shadow, and it looks so freaking stunning. So I definitely wanted to be sure to throw that clip in there just so that way you guys had kind of like a frame of reference for what I was talking about and all of that, because as far as the shimmer shades, typically the Pat McGrath, like the quote-unquote shimmer shades in these palettes, the one we talked about yesterday, which, by the way, you didn't see that video, we went through and we did the pink collection. I will go ahead and I will link it right up here for you guys, but if you didn't watch that video or you're not familiar with the shimmers, they're typically like a very thick and like dense, really opaque shade, beautiful and just like full of shimmer and glimmer and all things beautiful. But when you're looking at this type of a glitter, the one, the Interstellar I was talking to you guys about, it's much more of like a topper shade where it's got all the shimmer and glimmer, but it's not opaque. It's not a super, super dense shade. When you put it down in one layer, you can definitely still see the skin behind it. And I think that that was part of the reason I really wanted to pull that forward for you guys, so you could see there is a little bit more versatility going on. It's not something that, you know, it doesn't have to be put over that black shadow, but I wanted you to really see like how far you can push it, because alone it's just like a really beautiful, like bright poppy shade. And I thought it was cool that it was so transcendent from like one look to the next. Like you really can use it for multiple things, which is really cool. So I'm not going to dive into pricing too much for this video, because yesterday's video I went through and I talked all kind about prices, and we had like all kinds of good fun in that one. So if you're curious about like the way that they all break down, you can definitely go check that out. But basically, for the purposes of this video, what you need to know is that you can buy these together for, I believe, 110. My phone just shut off, but I believe it's 110. You can get the palette for 55 by itself, or you can get the duo by itself for 65, or you can buy the lipsticks individually or mix and match, or however however you want to do it. But as far as these, like this launch and each of these sets, they really did do a great job of going through, giving you good price points, and not good price points, like they're expensive, but making sure that if the more you bought, the more you saved. So if you're looking at this, definitely wait until you've looked at my reviews, my thoughts, and everybody else's, and really make an informed opinion on what you want to purchase, because based on how you purchase it, you might be able to save yourself a little extra money. So let's go ahead, and I think that that's it for all of that. We're gonna bring you guys in, and we're gonna start the eye look. Oh man, I'm starting to feel it. I'm feeling the butterflies. Whew, okay. All good and zoomed in. And by the way, in case you were wondering, my wind chapped situation here, it's still there. It hurts so bad, like, because it's right where you talk, you know, but it just, oh my god, it hurts. But if you're wondering, hi, hello, I have wind chap because apparently I'm 12 years old and I went out sledding in the middle of the winter. Just kidding. I don't know what happened, but I got wind chapped right here and it's very red. So to not address it would just be not me. So it's still there. Fun fact. Now, aside from that, I have already went ahead. I did my brows, obviously, off of camera. This is the Morphe brow pencil in the shade Java. It is, I know right now it looks a little bit dark for me, but when my hair is down, it is almost the exact same color as my hair, which is crazy awesome because my hair is actually kind of a hard color for me to match, and it's a really good color. Again, it looks really dark right now just because I'm so pasty pale, but that is what is on my eyes. And then I went ahead and I also primed and prepped my lids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Eden, and I love this because it gives a nice concealer base. Now, yesterday I used the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, multi-sculpting concealer. It is a great concealer and I love it, but today I'm going to be going out. I have a lot of stuff going on and I wanted to make sure that, not that that one doesn't last a long time because the concealer does work really well for me, but I wanted to make sure that I had the best possible option for my lids to make them last a really long time today. So that is what is on there, and then I went ahead and I set that down with my Maybelline Fit Me Powder in 05 Fair. Love this stuff. It helps make such a nice base for my shadow, so smooth and blendable and fabulous. Now, let's go ahead and jump into these shadows. Oh, and by the way, one of you guys asked me in the comments of, I think it was my day in the life video, but you had asked me if I was like bummed out about like the Pat McGrath packaging, because one thing Pat McGrath, like in my opinion, they don't always package their palettes very well. And you were like, have you ever had any arrive broken? And one of you really asked me a couple questions about it. So I wanted to throw this in here real quick. I actually did this time, this shade right, hold on, it's this purple shade right here in the center, this one. It actually, if you were looking at it in real life, you can see it's actually in there a little bit crooked, and that is because it showed up completely popped out. Thank God nothing was broken, but it was held in there with like the tiniest little bit of glue. Like it right now, if I were to push on it or pull it, it would pop right out again. I need to like re-glue it down, but as far as their packaging goes, yes, it is a little bit chintzy, not gonna lie. Kind of frustrating, but this is the only time I've ever had that happen. Now, because this is like a super, super dark, intense color, and I'm gonna be using it to blend out into my outer V up into this area, that is the only matte shade that you really can blend out. Now, I did talk about this a lot in yesterday's video, that when it comes to their shimmers, you can use them and blend them out and they look super, super beautiful. But for this look, I really want to work on having a nice smoky outer V out here, and then I'm going to go in and either cut out or maybe not cut, I'm not sure if I want to or not, but I'm going to work on really opening up this whole inner area with a nice bright color, and then keeping all of the nice dark, just deep, sultry, saturated color toward the outer V for like a nice smoky, lifted, hopefully lifted look. So we're gonna start by going in with this little fluffy brush. This is like a shorter, dense fluffy brush, but it's not so dense that like if you watch me wiggle it around, I can still get a little bit of fluff on it, which is good. I know this is an It Cosmetics brush. I've had it so long, like I've had it for 2 years, so there's no label on it, but I know that that's what it is. So I'm gonna be taking this and I'm diving into this gray shade right here, and because I know how insanely rich in pigment these colors are, I'm going to be building this color up very, very slowly so I don't screw it up. So I talk about this a lot in every video, but if you have hooded eyes, I will kind of talk you through this portion of it a little bit. So I'm going to start, and I like to look at my eyes dead on, completely relax my brows, and I like to kind of look at them and see where I want the color to sit. Now, this will vary from person to person based on how hooded they are, or if they're, you know, some people have downturned eyes, upturned eyes, or, you know, they just have overall different lid spacing in general, which is totally fine. Like, whatever you have is what you have. You have to make it work for you. So for me, because my eyes are so hooded, I have very little lid space. I I like to create the illusion that all of this up to here is open lid versus right now where you can obviously see I have like no lid and like this giant little poochy fat pocket right here. So we're going to use that little poochy fat pocket. I'm going to take this color, and I tapped off a lot of it. I'm going to start just by placing this right up in this area because I know for sure I want to have some nice deep color up in this area blended. So that's where I like to start as like a guide, and then I slowly kind of work this in the outer V, and I'm working with tiny amounts of product. Like, I'm shocked there's that much showing up because I'm tapping my brush in once and then like knocking it all off. So, and for those of you that hate this noise, I apologize, but it's habit now at this point. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm gonna go ahead and work on really packing this on to the outer V. And I'm doing this again, super tiny little motions. I don't want this color to go unless I want it to go there. Like, this is with Pat McGrath shadows, always be mindful. They are so rich in pigment that when you're working with them, you do not want to just be like all willy-nilly, like woo woo woo, and start throwing it all over, because girl, it will end up, I'm telling you, it'll end up on your toe. Like, Pat McGrath does not play. They have got pigment for days. So we're just going to take and really work this around. And I'm going to keep building up this outer V color. Now I am going through and taking what is left over on my brush, and I'm just kind of dragging it over in toward my inner eye, but I'm making sure that as I do it, I'm doing it nice and high. So I'm taking my brush and I'm almost pressing it in an upward direction versus in a straightforward direction. Because when I do it from this direction, I'm going to get a little bit less pressure, so it's going to be a lot more of a veil of a color versus an intense like straight on packing motion. And also because I don't want to bring it down too low. I really want to focus on keeping this area nice and high, so that way my bright color I go in with right here is going to open up my inner eye, so that way hopefully as I go across, my whole eye looks nice and open and lifted instead of a little squatty potty, because we don't want no squatty potty on our lids. You know what I'm talking about? You guys, I think the air conditioning just shut off, and I really apologize. Not air conditioning, I think it's the heat actually. Why would it be the air conditioning? Oh my god, I'm seriously constantly sweating, but I apologize for that because I'm sure it was in the audio and I didn't even notice it. I was going through yesterday, and I'm so glad that I did these videos in the order I did them in, because the video I did yesterday was such a nice, like, bright, beautiful, bold look. And I know that, like, I seriously, you guys, I did that yesterday. Obviously, I'm filming on a weekend because that's typically when I try to get most of my filming done. But I was really nervous, like, all night. I'm like, oh my god, people are going to hate me for doing that look. But I really wanted to, throughout this 3-day process, show, like, the versatility of Pat McGrath, because I feel like it's something not a lot of people talk about. And so I wanted to start off with, like, an easy one, just in case you're like me and you're super intimidated. Like, I just wanted to kind of help diffuse that in people before it's like, oh god, blah, 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 you know? So anyways, if you're wondering, like, Paige, why are you going from that to this? I'm just really trying to show that versatility, and I apologize if you're like, wow, that was an awful freaking video or whatever, but I honestly feel like if you are a businessy type person, or someone, hell, not even businessy, but like you're just in a hurry but you still want a beautiful look, we don't always have time to sit and blend this same damn gray color for 6 years. Like, sometimes you need something quick and easy, and I just thought, I don't know, I just felt like it was something that needed to be done. So anyways, I did it. I'm not upset about it. It was a beautiful freaking eye. I actually went out, and the person that was our server, we went out for dinner. We had a gift card, which not relevant, but we had a gift card. And so we went out, and my parents and I did, and the server was like, oh my god, like, I love that, it looks so good. And I was like, literally the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Thank you. Like, that's why I love it, because, like, think about when you do a super intense, like, beautiful look, how, I mean, yeah, they're great, and yeah, people are like, wow, that's so great, but how nice is it to know that you did a look that was super quick, super easy, and people still loved it? Not that we need the validation from people, but come on, like, that's pretty great to know that it was, like, easy. So I was kind of going through, and I know for sure I want to take one of the brighter, more like goldish shades in here, and so I went ahead and I swatched both of them as well as the gray tone, just to see, like, which one works best with the look I'm going for. And I feel like I'm gonna start off for sure with the brighter, more intense, like, antique-y looking gold, which is this guy right down here. And I'm gonna start, and I think I want to start it, like, more in the center, see how it looks, and if I feel like I need to keep brightening it up, I'm gonna switch to the other color. But I want to try that one first, just to see if I can make it work with this color, because my vision is to have it all over, but if it doesn't, like, work, then obviously I'm not gonna do that. So let's grab, hello, glitter glue. I'm going to grab my Too Faced glitter glue right here. So I'm going to start off just by taking a little bit of this on my finger and kind of placing it right in this area. Now, normally I would place it over that entire spot, but because I want this to be more of like a trial patch, I'm only putting it right here. And I am also going to tap it up a little bit higher because I'm taking this color nice and high. And then I'm going in with this nice, beautiful gold, and we are going to just start very lightly tapping it onto the lid. Ever so lightly, because I am still nervous. Oh my god, that is such a pretty color. Now see, I really love that color a lot. I'm actually going to run it in toward the inner. I'm going to just grab a little bit more glitter glue, and I'm going to work on taking this color and working it all over the lid, and I'm going to put it up in toward that gray that we had already started working into the crease, but into the high crease. So I'm basically going to just take this and I'm going to tap the glue down in this entire area. I'm going to go back in with my finger and just grab some more of that gold. You don't need a ton of glitter glue, and quite frankly, you don't need a ton of the gold either, because it has so much freaking pigment to it. Like, holy, like, look at that. I've tapped in, I think, twice, and it's just so stunning. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. And I'm just using what's left on my finger. I'm now going to take a clean finger right here, my little pinky, and I'm just going to start kind of fluffing this into this area and blending everything. You guys know you can use a brush for this. I'll grab one here in a second, but I love feeling that shimmer because I can really feel where it's at. I can tell if I need to thin it out. I can tell, you know, if there's a little bit of a bald patch or really anything that's going on. I can just feel it better with my finger. So that's why I love to do it. But again, you guys can do you, whatever works. I know so many of you hate to use your fingers, and that's totally fine. I don't blame you at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all of the excess crap off my fingers, and we're going to grab that same IT Cosmetics brush, the one we were using, the gray. I'm going to tap into the gray a little tiny bit, and then I'm going to work on going in here and just blending the edge where that gold meets that gray. Okay, oh my god, it's officially time. We're gonna go in with the black shade, you guys. I have the Morphe Y20 right here. It's like kind of a fat, chubby little pencil brush-esque, but it doesn't come to a point. And you guys know why. I'm going in, I want that precision, I want to pack the color and be able to really distribute it where I want it to go and be precise. So I'm gonna be taking this. All right, now the nerves are just so real right now. I'm taking it and we're gonna start again working it up in this area, and I am gonna start off by saying I know for sure I want it to be darker right in this area. So we're gonna we're just gonna layer down, work her out tiny little motions. Like you see that, just little boop boop boops, very small circular motions. This color is manipulating so stinking nice for what it is. Like, I'm always so afraid of using blacks, but this one blends in so perfectly and seamlessly. It's not leaving like any weird marks or tug marks or anything. It's just like a perfect veil of a nice deep matte black. That is so pretty. Now I do want to take and go in and have a little bit of a blend between these two colors. So I think, and I'm a little bit nervous to do this, but I'm going to grab this matte purple shade right here, or not matte, what am I saying? This shimmer purple, and I want you guys to kind of see it on my hand. It has a beautiful reflect to it, which you can kind of see right there, but it also has that really beautiful deep undertone that I have going on in the outer V. So what I want it for is like the shimmer transition from this beautiful gold into deepness, but I want it to have, I just want it to have a little element of something shimmery. So I'm hoping that putting that just with my finger right out here and just kind of stamping it, and then clean finger just going in and melding it into that area. I don't like how abrupt that gold was ending, so I wanted something to kind of blend everything together. Ooh, hello. Now I'm going to grab this E10 brush from ColourPop. It's a nice little pointed brush. And I'm going to grab the other light gold shade in this palette. So this is the one we have all over the lid. And I'm going to grab the other one right here on this and pack that toward the inner portion of the eye. And if you have like a little bit deeper skin tone than I do, because I'm super fair, this would actually be a beautiful, I'm assuming like a nice inner eye highlight. But I'm just going to lightly kind of pack this toward the inner eye just for a tiny, tiny bit of dimension. But I will probably go in this area and add just a little shot of highlight, because as you can see on my skin tone, it doesn't totally show up. Like, you're not going to get a lot of differentiation on top of the other gold that I'm going to get with a highlight. But I just really love this color, and I want to throw it in the inner here just to help brighten all of this up. Just a little extra bit. Wow, Paige. That's some nice English you don't have there. Now, normally because I do already have like a nice gold theme going here, I would look for a more goldy highlight. But this one I'm actually going in with, you've seen me use it yesterday 1,000 times. This is the Ofra in Star Island. And I'm picking this one because it's really close. Like it has a beautiful, not so much a gold undertone, but it casts more gold than white. And normally I would go in with my my glazed donut, and that's like a pure white highlight. But this one will cast just a little extra gold to it, so but still give me that like nice bright pop that I'm looking for. So I'm going to grab this shade on that same E10 brush from ColourPop. I'm just going to pop that. Look at that. Like, bam. That's what I'm looking for. Hello. Oh, girl. That's gorgeous. Just for a tiny, tiny bit of extra dimension, but enough that I can still work it in and have that gold base. All right, just a nice little felt tip line right on close to the lashes right here. I didn't do a wing as of yet. I don't think I'm going to want to, but I will definitely keep you guys updated because I'm going to run off of camera. I'm going to do this eye, the rest of my face, and I will be back to talk some more because that's what I do. let's be honest, that's all I do. So I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I went ahead, I finished up the rest of my face. This is how everything turned out, and holy crap, what a roller coaster ride. So I actually went ahead with today's look and I picked the unexpected lip and I changed it a little bit. So I want to jump into the lipsticks real quick because with this collection, like with all of them, there are two cute little color coordinated lipsticks, color coordinated in packaging, not so much in the colors. In each set, like I said before, one is a nude pink, one is a more rambunctious red type color. So in this set, we have the shade 1995 and the shade Guinevere. Now they're both super beautiful. One is obviously the nude color that I did not choose. I picked the red because I felt like normally this is like not something I would choose. So I wanted the more unexpected option, but more so than that, I really wanted to drive home that this whole video is so juxtaposed to yesterday's video and how I wanted yesterday's to be like the more fun, easy, playful option versus today's where you guys really can pair like a beautiful, insanely vivacious red lip, which I went ahead and I threw this Becca gloss in Opal right over top of just because I wanted it to have that more like lustrous, sexy red look to it. But I went ahead and I put that on my lips to go with this because when you are going for a more intense, like out there look, it's okay to experiment and try different colors. And personally, I would never wear this. Like this is so, everything about this look is outside of my comfort zone. Like everything about it. Like it's all very different and edgy, but it all kind of really comes together and just shows you that it's okay to try different things and to just be different. So I love that. And I feel like that really drives home the message of Pat McGrath more so than so many other things, is that Pat McGrath is one of those brands that is different and quirky and unique and expensive. And there's so many reasons that you can give yourself that are like, oh, I don't want to try Pat McGrath, or like, oh, you know, this or that. But at the end of it all, every time I leave a Pat McGrath palette, whether I'm doing a super easy look, a really difficult, or like more extravagant, more out there, more deep look, or something in between. Like it doesn't matter what I end up doing. I always leave being like, wow, that was really beautiful, or wow, that was a great color, or wow, it always leaves me with this refreshing feeling that, holy cow, that was great. So as far as like this palette goes, I definitely think this is a palette for you if you are into the much more like deep, sultry, smoky kind of looks, because that gray and that black, I mean, hell, together they make up a third of the palette, first of all. Second of all, they're just so intense that it would be a shame to not really get that use out of them. Like really apply them and really just delve into the sexiness that is the gray and the black in this palette. And I say that as a person that hardly ever wears gray, and I love how this one manipulated. So that is that. Now, I also want to tell you real quick the other items that are on my face. I actually went in and I primed and prepped my skin today with my Milani Prime Shield right here. And then I went in with my Double Wear, actually, weird, I know, my Estee Lauder Double Wear concealer over my concealered areas. And this is in the shade 1C. And then over top of that, I took my MAC Studio Fix Powder Foundation, used that for, what did I use for bronzer? Oh, Park Ave Princess for a bronzer today, and for the lighted area under my eye. For blush, you guys, I actually went and I was like hardcore with my blush. I was like, no, I'm not going to use just any blush, because everything that I had near me was like a pink, or like it was just this coral color, and it wasn't giving me the effect that I wanted. So I went over and I was digging through my stash, and I found two that I thought would work perfectly. We haven't seen this guy in a minute, so I grabbed the shade Peachy in the palette, which is actually not a really peachy tone. It's a lot more orange, not orange, but it pulls more orangey peach on my skin. But then I took that, and over top of it, I took the It Cosmetics Confidence in Your Glow Healthy Flushing Blushing Bronzer, something like that. And I did this one near this end, so I got like this beautiful orange kind of like transient glow to the cheek, and that's the color that I put primarily in the front. I absolutely love this, and this is in Instant Nude Glow, by the way, this palette is. And it came together just so beautifully. Then, before I had went off of camera, I was playing around with what is that highlight? The Star Island highlight from Ofra, and I was like, you know, I want to play around, I want to try something else, like what other options do I have? Well, I went over and I grabbed my Pat McGrath little trio highlight. This is such a great highlight. So I ran my brush through these two right here, just to give me more of like a golden yellow. This one down here is more like has a violet shift to it, and I didn't want that purple effect on my face. It wouldn't have matched. So I put some of this down. It was a little intense, so I balanced it out with my Ofra Nikki Tutorials Glazed Donut, because apparently I can't help myself. And overall, like, everything just worked and came together so freaking beautifully, you guys. Like, I'm honestly obsessed. Wow, okay. Sorry, my lips are traveling already. But I love the way everything came together. And then as far as eyes, I will tell you what I did on the lower lash line. It was super, super simple and so intense and so beautiful. So first I went ahead and I went right for it, and I grabbed the black shade out of this palette, and I started really smudging that in right up by the lower lash line all the way toward the outer V. I brought it in a little bit, but I just really wanted to work that shade, and I kept doing it until I felt like it was super diffused. It wasn't streaky, it wasn't patchy, there was no issue. It just diffused so perfectly on the lower lash line. Then I took the gray shade and I went in right underneath of that, and again I just really kept working, smoking it out, keeping most of the shadow toward the outer V area of the eye. And then on the inner lower lash line, I took that gold shade, the one we packed all over the lid, and I packed it right on in toward the inner V along the lower lash line, and I blended it over with that little sponge tip applicator all the way over along that lower lash line, and it just came together so beautifully. They all melded together great. And I mean, as far as working like really intense colors and a shimmer on my lower lash line, like to have all of it blend and work so effortlessly together, I was so freaking impressed. But you guys, I think that that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget, run down, comment, like, subscribe if you have not yet. I do put up new videos Monday through Friday. I'm in Northern Michigan, and they go up at 6 a.m. my time, right around there. Sometimes it's a little early, sometimes it's a little late, depending on like technology, because in Northern Michigan we have nice cows, but we don't always have nice internet. So sometimes it takes, you know, a little extra couple of minutes in there, but for the most part, you guys, it's 5 videos a week, really nice and early, and we are growing like crazy right now. So don't forget to make sure you go down there, check it out, check out my Instagram and the Twitter. They are both linked down in the description box. And oh, you guys, that is it. Thank you for going on this roller coaster of a day with me and just letting me hang out with you and letting me be nervous, but also so fabulous and glamorous all at the same time. You guys, please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Am I in focus? I think I'm pretty in focus, right? Yeah, I look good. Okay, we're good. We're fine. We're fresh. We're happy. Okay. Okay, Paige, you need to like calm down. All right. Okay, it's good. Paige, it's fine. It's fresh. It's handy. It's dandy. We're good. Ready? Okay. Into my brow bone, or into my brow bone, into my cut crease, or sweet Jesus, Diet Coke. You guys, please do not forget. So I'm gonna grab the Too Faced glitter glue right here. You guys see me?